Hi, I'm Darnell with Whalen Recipes, and this is my 30-day review of the Ninja Flip Toaster Oven and Air Fryer. If you've not already seen the initial review, please see that. If you're looking for test cooks, measurements side by side with an older model, all that good stuff is all in the initial review, and there's a lot there to enjoy in the initial review. Here in the 30-day review, I give a 30-day follow-up where I just talk about my thoughts and impressions of the cooker after using it for 30 days. And so I want to say that generally speaking, this cooker, it's okay for its purpose. And obviously with the slim form factor, that would be something that you would have a need for. So it's okay for what it's made to do and for what it's designed to be. And especially if you want to be able to flip it up after use, I mean, it works real handy like that and gives you indicators, as I've shown the initial review, for things like that. And generally speaking, it does give even cooking. I do want to show you a photo of where I air roasted some hazelnuts, and basically I did 375 for just 8 minutes. Usually that would take about 12 minutes in other cookers. And in this channel, when I'm talking about things like this, I've reviewed over 80 different countertop cookers here on the channel, and there's over 900 videos here if you're new to the channel. So when I say this took a much shorter time than other cookers, I'm talking about much shorter than a whole lot of cookers would usually take. So that's very good, and it's probably because of the design with the heating elements on the top and the bottom being so close together. You're getting a concentrated heat, and that can work out really well depending on your needs. Now, unlike the Ninja Prestige, there's no reminder beeps after cooks when you still have food in the cooker, and actually I prefer that. I really don't need all the extra reminders and such, so I do like that part. But this cooker doesn't have a auto pause door when you open it, which the Ninja Prestige does have, so that's a difference between the two apart from their size. The Prestige having the auto pause door is a nice plus, but the beeping's kind of a hassle, whereas this one you have to press the start button to pause, and then you can do your thing, but it doesn't have an auto pause door or a door that will give you any nagging beeps that food is still in after the cook's over. The heat level for this cooker is generally hot as far as cookers overall go. It cooks things hotter and faster, generally speaking. And as I said, that's because of the heat elements being so close together. And after cooks, things are not very hot for long in this cooker, unlike like the Ninja Combi or the Ninja Speedy, where things will stay hot. I mean, like even an hour after a cook, you can, if you left it closed, you can open things up and still feel warmth in there. But this cooker is designed to cool down quickly so that you can flip it up. So it doesn't stay long for a very long time after cooks, but that's by design. The user interface on this cooker is easy to understand. There's not a lot of buttons at all, so it won't take much time to figure it out. And I show in the initial review how to use it and all the functions and their limits as far as ranges and things. I also like that the cooker has physical buttons and not like a touch screen, because sometimes touch screens aren't very responsive depending on the condition of your fingers. And so real buttons are nice, and so I like that Ninja is putting real buttons on their cooker still. Now, another thing about the buttons is that the time or temp can be changed rapidly if you hold the button pressed in, but you have to be a little firm with that. I think a little more firmer than you would with some other cookers to get it to respond to rapidly changing if you hold the button in. Sometimes it seemed like I was pressing the button, but it didn't really start the rapid change unless I pressed it a little more firmly than I might normally have to with some other cookers with the same feature, but the feature is there. Now, this cooker is not the best for smoke, I have to tell you that. I showed an initial review doing some toast, some smoke issues, but even after that, I did some other cooks after that and still was encountering smoke issues. And so basically I stopped using air fry for everything that really had drippings, because the bottom heating element was causing things to smoke. And so I'm very familiar with high smoke point oils versus low smoke point oils. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about anything that drips, just normal natural drippings, could cause a smoke issue, and this cooker is what I experienced. And so what I started doing to be able to use it effectively was using broil a lot more than I'd use air fry. So air fry was good if it didn't have a lot of drippings. Broil for things that drip, things like burgers and such, broil was the way to go, and broil worked out great. I usually use low broil, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit when I'm talking about the functions. And so now I do want to talk about the functions that I used and my experience with each of the functions on the cooker. And for air fry, it works well if your food, as I mentioned, doesn't have a lot of drippings, because you want to avoid the smoke issues. Air roast works very well. As I mentioned, things can cook faster in this air roasting than with some other cookers, or overall most cookers in general. I wouldn't say necessarily all and every one it does faster than, but it does very well and it does very quick. So good even roasting, and it does it in short time. And the bake function also works well. I didn't use the pizza function. As I mentioned, broil works well, and that was what I was using a lot with this cooker. I was using low broil, which is 400 degrees, more than the high broil, which is 450. The high broil, being at 450, could sometimes cause a little smoke, but the low broil was always working out very well for me. So that was usually my go-to when I was cooking any proteins, was a low broil. The toast function works fine, and I noticed that the toast function doesn't adjust when the cooker is hot. Like if you just finish to cook and then you start on some toast, it doesn't adjust time down to recognize that the cooker's already hot. That's something that the Prestige does, but this flip toaster oven air fryer doesn't do. I didn't use bagel, and I also didn't use the dehydrate function. Now I want to talk about cleaning. The cooker's very easy to clean, no problems at all. It's super quick and easy to clean, and I talk about cleaning in the initial review. And I was cleaning the air fry rack in the top rack of my dishwasher after I got any like larger debris and stuff off of it. It would come out pretty nice from the dishwasher. Everything else I washed by hand. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you inside now that I've had it 30 days. You can see inside. I don't use any special stuff. I just use like dish soap and a wet soapy rag, and that's all. And I don't mind if things stay stained, but you see it's not a problem really. I also want to show you the air fry basket. See, it's nice and clean. The bake pan, I had some things that would kind of leave a little bit of stain, but they don't claim that this is a non-stick bake pan to begin with. But you can see how it goes when you get some stains on it, and some of them come off easier than others, but it's okay. It's all good. Now I'm going to talk about just one comparison here, and if you want thoughts on other comparisons and such, you'll have to see other videos, make your own determination. But I wanted to talk about this in comparison with the Ninja Foodi dual heat air fry oven, which I've also reviewed here on the channel and included side by side in the initial review. And like I said in the initial review, the functions and features and accessories that come with the Ninja Foodi dual heat air fry oven really just kind of blow this Ninja Flip toaster oven air fryer out of the water. So it's just got a lot more to offer than this one. But in the Ninja Flip toaster oven and air fryer, you can put the air fry rack in with the bake pan underneath at the same time. I couldn't do that with the dual heat air fry oven. And so you kind of get this issue where, since you can put the bake pan underneath, you do sometimes get the bottom heating elements overheating things to cause smoke. There wouldn't have been as much an issue with the dual heat air fry oven, where I would just have to air fry things on the sear rack, on that sear tray, because you couldn't put in the air fry rack and the sear tray underneath at the same time. They both wouldn't fit together, and so you just had to air fry on the sear plate. But I guess it's a trade-off between the two. Still, the Ninja Foodi dual heat air fry oven was just more versatile and able to do more, even like griddle eggs and things like that. But generally between the two, it just seemed like this Ninja Flip toaster oven air fryer did have a bit more issues handling smoke than the old dual heat air fry toast oven, which is also of a slim design if you haven't seen that cooker. Now, due to its form factor and not having as many different versatile features as the Ninja Foodi dual heat air fry toast oven, I don't really find it even fair to compare this with other cookers, because it's just, you know, it's good for its purpose, but others that are larger and different configurations are just going to have a lot more versatility due to size and other features. And so, you know, like the Prestige is still the champ for me, but this is good for someone who has a need. I wouldn't say change from an older model of a Ninja Foodi type of like slim toaster oven. I wouldn't say to throw those out and get this. I'd keep those. But if you didn't have one and you just wanted to get the newest one, this one works fine. Now, I do want to point out that nothing in this video is sponsored, nothing given to me, and that's the way I prefer it. In the video description, there's lots of ways to help the channel, such as my cookbook, merch, membership, donations, link to the Amazon shop where you pay the same price, but help the channel. Also, please check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. That's superwaveovenrecipes.com. Lots of written recipes there, search feature to find anything you need. Also, there's a buy me a coffee there on the superwaveovenrecipes.com site where you can use the buy me a coffee donation link. And with all that said, if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and good eating.